board designated liaison presents board summary evaluation to superintendent at appraisal meeting and performs contract review, which is what we are about to do. The superintendent may reply to evaluation per contract. So, Mr. Craig, you may respond to our evaluation, and board president will present your response at our called meeting on on May 24th, if you choose to do so. Okay. I'll take a copy of that, please. Okay, the school board had 7 different areas that we graded Mr. Craig on. I'm just going to give you the results. Under relationship with the board, which is the first one, there are 3 different categories under each one of these. Does not meet expectations, meets expectations, or exceeds expectations. In this particular category, Mr. Craig, there had 3 board members who graded him exceeds expectations, and he had 2 board members who graded him meets expectations. There were no does not meet expectations on this particular one. The comments that were written by the board members. Mr. Craig is open and direct with board members. He is also patient and understanding with questions that must at times seem foolish and or repetitive in nature. From my perspective as a new board member, Mr. Craig has been incredibly helpful and communicative. The board retreat was excellent and thorough. Although difficult to invite board participation in district activities because of the size of the district, the superintendent through his staff ensures the board is included. This should continue. Opportunity exists for increased collaboration with the board relative to both individual and overall board needs. And the last comment, opportunity exists for improved timelines and content of communications. The next area that he was graded on is community relations. Using the same 3 that I mentioned earlier, there were 2 board members that graded Mr. Craig exceeds expectations. There were 3 board members that graded Mr. Craig meets expectations. In this particular, under community relations, no one graded him does not meet expectations. Comments under community relations, he listens to the community, he maintains poise in the face of sometimes ridiculous inquiries and demands, and he does not selfishly seek all the glory visited on our school system. The superintendent has recently made efforts to improve his relationship with the media, improve community relationships by including community members in decision-making processes, improve media relations resulting from a better understanding of needs and expectations. And the last comment, as a primary communication tool for the school district to engage the community, the existing website remains weak in terms of image, content, and functionality relative to the quality of the school district. Next is superintendent-staff relationships. 3 board members graded Mr. Craig exceeds expectations. 2 board members graded Mr. Craig meets expectations. No one graded Mr. Craig does not meet expectations. The comments, according to teacher surveys, the superintendent does an excellent job meeting the needs of faculty. Teachers are very satisfied working in the Hoover City Schools environment. Some central staff members have more responsibility than others. Delegation of responsibility should be more evenly distributed. Some problems with school principals should be handled in a more decisive manner. Good job in working with staff to align the best people with the most critical needs. And the last comment, very good job in managing staffing changes in light of the current economic environment. Next is business and finance. 3 of the board members graded Mr. Craig exceeds expectations. 2 board members graded Mr. Craig meets expectations. No one on the board graded Mr. Craig does not meet expectations. Comments? Balancing the budget without compromising the integrity of our school system or diminishing any of our past accomplishments of academic excellence. Commitment to athletics and the arts is the most critical issue we are currently facing. The superintendent keeps the board current on unexpected funding changes. The superintendent has guided the system through the current funding crisis. Appears to have a very good handle on school finances, but has not articulated the vision adequately to all stakeholders. And the last comment, very fortunate to have someone with Mr. Craig's training in charge of this system during these tough times. Next is educational leadership. 2 board members graded Mr. Craig exceeds expectations. 3 board members graded Mr. Craig meets expectations. No one graded Mr. Craig does not meet expectations. Under comments, the superintendent proactively seeks to increase his visibility in the community. The superintendent should assure that all school staff, certified and non-certified, be a part of the decision-making process. Possesses an outstanding staff dedicated to student learning and achievement. And the last comment, the metric designed to define the success of the school district overall and individual schools is the balanced scorecards. Opportunity exists for completion, use, and communication of balanced scorecard information to stakeholders. Personal qualities. 3 board members graded Mr. Craig exceeds expectations. 2 board members graded Mr. Craig meets expectations. No one on the board graded Mr. Craig does not meet expectations. Comments? The superintendent has earned the respect of the community through his hard work, actions, and general personality. Superintendent continues to grow in knowledge and confidence with respect to his position. Continues to improve in his ability to communicate and articulate issues and solutions. And the last comment, opportunity exists for managing responses and reactions to criticisms and concerns in a way appropriate for the position of superintendent. And then the last is achievement of goals determined by Board of Education. 3 board members graded Mr. Craig exceeds expectations. 2 board members graded Mr. Craig meets expectations. No one on the board graded Mr. Craig does not meet expectations. Comments? The superintendent addressed the concerns of the Hoover community, the staff employed by Hoover City Schools, and the students. Superintendent has made progress in community and media relations while embracing multiple stakeholder groups in decision-making. And the last comment, the district website remains subpar from the perspective of image, functionality, and content.